I'm Jon Chattman. I'm here with the one and only David Hasselhoff.
Hello.
So your reality show is debuting this weekend. It's you and your daughters. It's obviously called The Hasselhoffs. The first question I want to ask you, aside from why now is the right time to do the reality show, is you kind of refer to yourself as the Hoff, but when you do it on the reality show, you do it, and I'm reminded because I'm a former wrestling fan,
Right.
about how wrestlers talk about themselves when they're entering the ring, kind of like it's just an exaggerated version of yourself. Is that pretty much what the Hoff is?
Yeah, the Hoff is just kind of an alter ego that, was kind of a runaway train, a little viral thing that happened. Actually, it was invented in Australia. First time I ever heard the word Hoff was the Sydney Telegraph called. So, how do you feel about being a sex symbol at 50? I said, what? And they said, there's a viral stampede or communication going on between a lot of secretaries here in Australia, where they've dubbed you the Hoff, and there's about 300 of these going around. I said, what are they? She said, well, everyone keeps coming up with, some like it Hoff, Desperate Hoffwives, Baryshna Hoff, Gond Hoff, the Hoff Father, Drop It Like It's Hoff, and he had sent me some of these things that had come over my fax machine, and so I just kind of went, oh, that's kind of cute and funny. And then I heard Ice-T. They'd asked him a question, and he claims that he came up with "Don't Hassle the Hoff." And the first time I saw it was actually in London, and I was doing an interview with Russell Brand, and Russell Brand was hosting MTV, and a lot of kids were wearing these T-shirts that said "Don't Hassle the Hoff." So I went down and said, well, I better patent that. So I patented "Don't Hassle the Hoff," and the rest is history. And now no matter where I go, I'm still David Hasselhoff, but I'm about 10 to 1 the Hoff.
No, I mean, now that you're, you have this kind of extension of yourself, I mean, how much during your life have you been the Hoff?
Well,
Can you turn the Hoff off?
Yeah, the Hoff is just like, I'm David Hasselhoff, I'm a dad, that's what our show's kind of about. It's kind of like when we go out, it's 24/7, and we're kind of on because of the media and being in show business, and I'm an easy target because I'm 6'4" and have a drinking problem. So this is great. Let's get the Night Rider, man. So and that's what kind of the show's about. It's people said, why would you invite cameras into your home? And I said the key word to that sentence is invite.
Yeah.
Because I invite everyone in to say, this is who I am.
Right.
Because I don't have a chance to do that. I have to sue papers where I have. The day I got custody of my kids, I had to sue a magazine, which will go unmentioned.
Right.
But it has to do with satellites and little meteorites in the sky, and what I am to other people. And then another magazine when you feel okay. And so, those magazines went out and printed unadulterated lies. And so it cost me $100,000 and about 35,000 emails. And then they printed "Sorry We Hassled the Hoff." So I went, oh my God, how do I stop this? How do I let everybody know that, I gotta, I have my problems like everybody else, but, it's not, it doesn't happen 11 million times like it does on YouTube. So this was an opportunity to kind of go, I was laying in bed going, wow, man, this is great. It's not reality. This is like fun. I can do whatever I want for a half an hour. Woohoo! So I'm going to promote my daughters because I can, and they're good.
Yeah.
And they said, Dad, we want to be in the music business. And I said, well, it's hard. It's tough. It's brutal. You got to learn how to rejection. You always go as your last hit. I've never made it in America with my music, but it's a great ride. When you're on that stage, playing to 10,000 people, nothing like it.
Right.
And so I said, let's go. And let's go. I said, I have an offer to do a reality show. And they said, yeah, well, Jessica Simpson did it, Dad. And I said, oh, so I went and watched Jessica Simpson. And then I got Joe Simpson on the line. I said, yeah, you should do it. It would help. I got Ron Fair on the line, who runs Interscope.
Yeah.
He was a friend of mine from years ago. Not a friend, but an acquaintance.
Right.
And so Hank said, it's a good tell. Anytime you get exposure for your kids or any artist through television, do it. So I kind of realized that Jessica Simpson was really kind of about, her hanging out with her buddies.
Yeah.
And this was like, so that's boring to me. So I want to kind of show the massive love that we have in our family for each other. The fact that we don't take it seriously.
Right.
That it does get to us after a while when the kids at school mess with my kids because of something that I've done and something that's been exploited by the publicity and the press and
right.
just taken to another level and just constant. I mean, it was like I couldn't turn the TV off when this certain tape was played. It was just unbelievable,
Yeah.
and it bothered me because it was a private tape that was sold,
Right.
and not by my daughter. And my daughter and I were I was devastated for her. So anyway, this was kind of an opportunity to say, hey, here we are. Now let's take reality and let's make it. I wanted to do a series called Tales of the Hoff, like Curb Your Enthusiasm. So I said,
Yeah.
I can take a lot of these things that have really happened to me and happen to me on a consistent basis everywhere I go. If you
Right.
walk from me to Broadway and 44th Street, it's a pretty interesting experience to see what happens.
We should do it.
I'd be happy to one day.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I would follow me around one day, a day in the
Yeah.
life of the Hoff. He's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And so I said, guys, you just gotta find out. I mean, it's great. It's really interesting to see how I can affect an 8-year-old because they know me from SpongeBob,
Right.
or how they can affect me. And point in fact, I was at the Essex house last time I was here. My daughter was on Good Morning America. I was nervous they were going to ask her intrusive questions. Oh, your parents were in the tabloids, and your dad, has been public with alcoholism. What's it like? And they did. And I was kind of stressed out. I went out to get some food around 3 o'clock in the morning, and there was a homeless guy on the side of the road, Rastafarian, smoking a cigarette. And I was like all stressed out about this and that. And I couldn't sleep. And my ex-wife had flown in, and I was going, well, what's she doing here? I'm trying to stay away from her. And he goes, how you doing, Night Rider? And I just went, are you kidding me? That's great. Give me how you doing? Didn't ask for money.
Yeah.
He just said, how you doing, Night Rider?
Yeah.
And here's a guy who...
You sure he was smoking a cigarette?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was smoking a cigarette.
Funny cigarette?
Yeah, no, it wasn't funny. He was just a happy guy.
Yeah.
Happy to be alive. And I went, boy. I said, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing me out of my head.
Yeah.
Look at where he is, and he's got an opportunity to smile at me. So that's kind of what our show's about. This is a show that you saw it.
Yeah.
It makes you cry. It makes you smile. It makes you feel good. And I think that's what I like to bring to television.